Call Halaya, how about you, Shai, Bashim Dash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great Milson over well. I am not a member, however, I have entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. At you with another quick one here. I don't really know where I want to start. You know, I think this one, it keeps coming out over and over. And we'll read it again. Basest of men, right? In Daniel 4 and 17. And I'll just read it. That'll be our opening scripture. And then we'll let this play. Okay, so this is Daniel 4 and 17 in the KJV. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. All right, so the duality of this whole thing, right? The greatest nation on the planet on paper. And you leave your very own out to dry. Right? They did it in Afghanistan. They do when they pulled out, right? And as you can see, this doesn't look good for Babylon because people see this. And when they do, they are going to have to force a draft. They are going to have to force people at gunpoint to join when this thing really, I mean, we're already pretty much full blown, but when it actually touches every household, right? Whether it be economically or emotionally or, because, you don't have your loved ones there anymore or whatever. Once it gets to a point, they're going to have to force people at gunpoint to join because it is obvious. All right, and this is all a part of making Esau bear, which we will just have to read that as well. And uncover his secret parts. Because there's another one that we need in Jeremiah as well. There's two in Jeremiah. So this is the first one we're going to read. We'll go ahead and front load them. We'll go ahead and do that. All right, so this is Jeremiah 49 and 10. But I have made ye bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Okay, so we got that. And then we also need Jeremiah 51 and 30. All right. And I'm going to read that. Does it read in the NLT? Let's see. Her mightiest warriors no longer fight. And this is Jeremiah 51 and 30. Her mightiest warriors no longer fight. They stay in their barracks. Their courage is gone. They have become like women. The invaders have burned the houses and broken down the city gates. Right. So the first part of that, we are starting to see the breakdown of the morale in, within the DOD. So all four or however many branches, six branches, right? That encompasses the Department of Defense, or should I say the DOW. Actually, you know what? We got one more, because he's not good to himself, right? Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 14, and we're going to read verse 5, right? Yeah. And I'm going to pull this one. This says it's the Dewey Rames. Let's see how it reads. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? And he shall not take pleasure in his goods, right? And, that is their end. When you read through the scriptures, their end is always synonymous with desolation, complete destruction, right? All of that. All right? Pride goeth before destruction, okay? And I'm going to keep reading, all right? We did... Let's read 4. Well, so this Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 14, starting at 4. 144, by the way. Call Halaya, how about you, Shai? All right, so let's read that. He that gathereth together by wronging his own soul gathereth for others, and another will squander away his goods in rioting. And then you have verse 5 that we just read. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? Okay, yeah, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? And he shall not take pleasure in his goods. Verse 6, there is none worse than he that envieth himself. And this is the reward of his wickedness. And if he do good, he doth it unwillingly, or it says here ignorantly, but the KJV is better. He doth it unwillingly. And it does say that he doth it ignorantly and unwillingly, and at the last he discovers his wickedness. All right, so let's let I don't know. Okay, yeah. Let's let this roll.
Of course, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth don't want these guys to come home. Why? Because they will talk. In 2024, a group of over 200 mental health professionals wrote an open letter saying Donald Trump is a malignant narcissist, and that's going to cause some problems. You know, for example, when a warship is out at sea for, let's say, 9 months, he's not going to care. He doesn't care that they don't have adequate food or water or sanitary conditions, toothpaste, deodorant, soap. He doesn't care. He just cares that it makes him look bad. Like, let's say if they come home and say they were in fact struck by a missile in Iran back in March, that there was damage, that there were toilets that were overflowing for months, and they did nothing.
Trump did not want to be seen with soldiers who were wounded in battle because it doesn't look good for me.
This is the man who pushes back lawsuits, payments, restitution that he's been ordered to make. If he can put it off as long as he can, he does that. It's not about taking responsibility. It is about wanting to not count these 4 soldiers that were killed in this war, because it makes the number too high. It makes them look bad.
A new fundraising email from the Trump team this weekend includes a picture of the president in his white USA cap, saluting at the dignified transfer of the first U.S. soldiers killed in the war.
According to Donald Trump's now deceased brother, Donald and Ivana sat Donnie Trump down and said that if he were to pursue any inclinations he had to join the military, he would be disowned.
I don't get it. What was in it for them?
Remember when he said this about John McCain?
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Called prisoners of war suckers.
He doesn't care about the sailors. He would have to have some empathy to be able to do that. Narcissists do not have empathy. He doesn't care about the families, the wives that have heard about their husbands trying to jump off the ship. To date, at least 6 have done so. They are in hellish conditions. They don't have the food they need. They don't have the food they need. They are in conditions worse than some wartime prisoners. Brought to you by nothing less than a malignant narcissist.
Have you been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't.
Hegseth was there to represent the administration.
So, you see that, and this is, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that he's losing popularity, obviously, but the reason, outside of, the Lord putting this devil here to forward prophecy, middle America, the average white, so-called white T American, this is somebody that they can relate to, right? This is a poor, trash's idea of a rich man, or the idea of how they would want to be if they were rich, right? And it shows, right? So as the ruler, so is the people. I want to go back to Sirach. I want to go back to Ecclesiasticus real quick. Is it 28? Is that what I'm looking for? Bear with me just a second. We need to get that real quick. It's about neglecting your men of war. I believe it's 26. Give me a second. We're going to find it. Hold on now. Bear with me. Bear with me. Yes, okay. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 26, verse 28. There be 2 things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. The Lord prepares such and one for the sword, right? And all these things that E does ends up saying you will be prepared for the sword, right? You will end up with the ultimate judgment, okay? So at the end of the day, that's how that's it. You've been made bare, and you continue to dig a hole, and that hole is your grave. Or should I say that gallows, that Haman effect, right? You set up those gallows and for Jake, but you're gonna be on them. Now I looked up a malignant narcissist, what she said in the beginning. All right, it says a person with extreme, dangerous form of narcissistic personality disorder. This condition blends classic grandiosity, so thinking highly of yourself, thinking how, as you can see clearly, that is the height of their pride. They think that they are bigger than what they are. But, generally speaking, they are poster children for mediocrity. From complete failure to mediocrity. All right, antisocial behavior, a willingness to break rules, lie, exploit others without remorse, sadism, finding active joy or triumph in pain, fear, or humiliation of other people. Paranoia, suspicious and constant belief that others are plotting against them. And that is them and our greatest ally as well, right? Because they are both of the same nation, just different tribes. And they share these traits of brutality, pseudo-intellectualism, right, and narcissistic or malignant narcissistic traits. And also how things end up missing, or people end up missing, things end up broken, burned. You can always, they leave trails, right? And they show you exactly who they are. You know a tree by its fruits, as the scripture says. So let's go ahead and let her, we got about maybe 30 seconds left on this. We'll let that roll, and that'll be the video. But I don't really know what this title is going to be called. But we'll, through the spirit, we'll get there. We'll figure it out.
The president has expressed his condolences to these families.
Of course, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth don't want these guys to come home.
Oh, yeah. But also, on a side note, expect maybe another USS Liberty. And if you don't know what I mean, you should look that up. Maybe. Because if these troops are allowed to return, they can, explain what's going on. They can reveal the truth. And we know how much he hates truth. So, we'll see how this plays out, right? And, I don't think any of the Lord's elect would be on there, but if they are, maybe, they were trying to get out and they just got caught up in in a bad way before they were able to separate. I pray, I truly do. I pray that Yahweh Basham Yahushua keeps you and performs whatever miracles need to be done so that you can get up out of there. But, as for everybody else, whew. Yeah, so with that being said,